It's nice to see you again, Westchester. It is Friday, August 15th, 2025, and I'm Bonita with the Westchester Chronicle. On this past Wednesday, August 13th, the Pennsylvania House Transportation Committee voted down a bill that included reallocating state funds to cover SEPTA's operating costs. The bill would have allocated $300,000 from the Pennsylvania Transit Trust Fund to bridge the gaps in SEPTA's budget. The money that comes from the Pennsylvania Transit Trust Fund is used for statewide capital projects such as infrastructure upgrades. While the funds would have covered SEPTA's budget temporarily, it would put capital projects across the state at risk of not having funding as well. Thursday, August 14th was the final day for SEPTA to secure funding before service cuts will begin to take place on August 24th. If you have been traveling around Chester County, specifically Exton, Malvern, and Paoli, you may have seen signs such as this one for Bus Route 206, and this one for Bus Route 204, notifying residents that the bus stops will no longer be in service as of August 24th and September 27th, respectively. As of Wednesday's vote, there are currently no other options to cover SEPTA's budget. The only thing left to cut are the services. So what does that mean for Westchester? Starting this month, service for the 104 bus route, which starts at Westchester University's campus and provides service to 69th Street Station in Upper Darby, will be reduced, and the time in between buses will be increased. The 104 will go from running every half hour to running every 45 minutes. Starting September 1st, the standard fare for all routes will increase by 21.5%, meaning that your bus fare will rise from $2.50 to $2.90. In January of 2026, the 92 bus route, which connects residents from Westchester to King of Prussia, will be fully eliminated. The Paoli-Thorndale line, which residents can catch at Exton Station, the closest train station to Westchester to go from Thorndale to 30th Street Station in Philadelphia, will also be fully eliminated by January. Along with these cuts, SEPTA will impose a strict 9 p.m. curfew across all transit lines. No exceptions will be made for special events, sports, or concerts. That means all trains, all buses, and all trolleys will stop at 9 p.m. On SEPTA's website, septa.org, you can find resources on how to reach out to your local representatives to share your thoughts about how the service cuts will affect you and your community. We will keep you updated as the story progresses. On Tuesday the 12th, at the borough's Administration, Communication, and Technology Committee meeting, Councilman Brian McGinnis continued his push to restrict the definition of the term public when deciding who can participate in the public comment portions of public meetings.
Some reminder of the framework here. There's the Pennsylvania Sunshine Law that says that agencies, public meetings have to be able to allow at the very least, residents or property owners of the jurisdiction to provide public comment. Call that the minimum bar. You have to do that. It's up to council to allow whomever, extend that permission to speak to whomever they want and manage that in the meeting. I suggest that council come to an agreement on how it wants to manage it. So, because right now the only way we have of managing it is for somebody who's sitting in one of those chairs to call a point of order, and the chairperson at that meeting, be it a committee or work session of council, has to make a decision about whether someone can speak based upon where they live. So I think it's a good idea to come to an agreement on a policy, and as a minimum, you have to allow residents or property owners to speak. And where it is a little unclear is that in the borough's ordinances, it uses the word citizen. It doesn't specify property owner or resident. It uses the word citizen. So it really comes down to how you want to interpret that now.
I am in favor of the residents and taxpayers only being able to speak at meetings. If people want to be on an agenda, they can certainly ask to be on an agenda. And I think that actually enhances their freedom of speech because that gets their topic discussed publicly at a meeting. That's where I come from when it comes to those residents in attendance regarding items not on the agenda. I think what we have seen in the last couple of months, and especially with that incident that happened, is there were conspiracy theories that out there put out by some people that somehow the police and the mayor were withholding information, purposely withholding information regarding that incident, potential terroristic incident. That was not the case. There are numerous screenshots out there. You can see that where it came from. And I think that's wrong. I think those conspiracy theories can be proven deadly in some cases. We had an incident the other day that shut down the CDC in Atlanta regarding a conspiracy theory. And so we just need to be cognizant of that. If non-residents want to be on an agenda, for example, the humane pet shop ordinance, that came through the Public Safety Committee. We enhanced that item so that people can discuss that. So I'm in favor, again, of having residents and or taxpayers speak. If non-residents do not, if they want to be on the agenda, then they should email Mr. Metrick, the heads of the committees, to be asked to have that particular issue to be discussed on the agenda. That will give that item a little bit more credence and the opportunity for more public comment. So that's where I'm at.
Currently, any member of the public may come up and address the Borough Council for 5 minutes. As it currently stands, any person speaking must come up and state their name and address into the microphone before starting their comment.
Hi, my name's Margie Swart. I'm just curious. I looked at
Could
the
you
borough.
please state where you live?
Yes, I live in 1519 Links Drive, Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Okay, that's West Goshen
That's
Township.
West Goshen Township.
Thank you for
Yes.
clarification.
Yes, certainly. I looked through the borough code and I could not find a policy regarding a flow of information, specifically regarding the June 14th No Kings rally. It appears to me through text messages and emails that I received through a right to know request that there was no communication between the police department to the mayor until the following day, and then no communication from the mayor to the borough council. It's my understanding the borough council would have to create a policy or pass a policy. So it's just my suggestion from the outside in that it's maybe something that this committee could look at, that there is, if there isn't a current policy in place for the flow of communication, that maybe it's something that the borough council might want to take up for future. As you know, that some of these policies and codes are very old, and with the advent of cell phones and video, information travels quickly. And I would think that elected officials might want to find out about certain situations through internal means, not through viral videos. So just something I wanted to bring to your attention. I hope that helps. And like I said, I just want to offer how maybe things could be better as far as communication. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you listening.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
If this measure is passed, only residents and taxpayers in the borough of Westchester will be allowed to participate in public comment. West Goshen residents, East Bradford residents, or anyone else that lives outside the Westchester borough will be blocked from speaking without prior permission from a member of council. What that means is that while the address on your driver's license may say Westchester, you may not be entitled to participate in public comment. It will be restricted to only the residents and taxpayers who live in the 1.8 square miles that make up the borough of Westchester. How this will be enforced was not made clear. Councilwoman Sheila Vaccaro agreed with Councilman McGinnis, citing times organized protesters have distorted meetings in the past.
I am the chair of the parking committee, and people come very, very angry and en masse on occasion to that meeting. They do in other meetings as well, but that one has been hijacked more than once. And I let almost everyone speak, but there is a limit. And I generally don't enforce much of a limit, but I am not opposed to some limitations being in place. I do not like the inconsistency in the language that we have citizen versus resident. Like on our agenda, it says that's what it says. Why? If that's not, we need this cleared up. So something is broken because the language is inconsistent, and we need to make the language consistent. As I stated, I'm okay with some parameters. I think in a quiet meeting where there are one or two guests, of course, let everyone speak. But there are definitely situations where limitations are required, and a little support in a boundary being predetermined is not a bad thing.
Council President Patrick McCoy, who was sitting in for the chair of the committee, Councilman Brian Travis, was against limiting who could speak, but considered limiting the overall time allowed for public comments.
I think we should allow anyone to speak who wants to. We already have the ability to, if it became disruptive for some reason, that's up to the chair to control that. But I don't see any reason not to allow people to speak. Boards and commission already consist of non-residents. So we had a policy would be to let all speak.
Lisa Kearns, Democratic candidate for Westchester's Ward 7, spoke in opposition of restricting who should participate in meetings. This is what she had to say.
Hi, my name is Lisa Kearns, 300 Block West Biddle Street. As you know, I'm also the Democratic nominee for Borough Council from Ward 7. And if I do have the honor of joining you in January, I would very much like the opportunity to hear from every person who chooses to come to one of these meetings and speak about topics affecting the borough. That means I support the idea of allowing residents and non-residents to speak for the full 5 minutes as stated in the Westchester Home Rule Charter. True, as Sean said, the Sunshine Law does allow you to limit who can speak and for how long. And I fully concur that we do not want, these meetings to be hijacked. We don't want them to be disrupted by outside agitators. But I ask, how often has that happened here? When was the last time we actually had more than 1 or 2 or 3 people even want to speak during those opening segments? So my question is, why would we want to discourage anybody from coming to these meetings and telling us what they would like us to know, rather than us taking steps to make it even easier for them to come? I think, why make it harder for people to come to speak to us if they don't live or own a business within the 1.8 square miles of Westchester? These outsiders, they come here to eat, they come here to shop, they come here to attend our events. And some of them depend on us for their police, their fire, their ambulance service. As I mentioned before, Westchester is not an island. You know that. And I think we should be working to coordinate even more with our neighbors rather than less. And I was asked last month by Brian if I at least agreed that we should only let citizens speak. Well, at this time in this country, when council may be asked to, ICE is currently asking municipalities to sign on under Section 287, which would delegate certain of the immigration enforcement functions to state and municipal police officers. When we have those things being talked about, I would welcome the opportunity to hear from even those who do not have documentation. Why are they here? What is their story? What is it like to exist in Westchester without documentation? To eat here, to shop here, to send their children to school here. To me, if someone had something important to say, they should be given the opportunity to do that, and for the full 5 minutes. It can be very difficult to say what you want to say in 5 minutes unless you just want to make declaratory statements and not give any reason or any context. So if they have something important to say and you want to understand, I say let them explain it. If someone has something relevant to say about Westchester, let them speak. You deserve to hear whatever it is they have to say, and they deserve the opportunity to say it.
Borough Council will discuss the topic of who can speak during public comment at next week's work session on Tuesday, August 19th at 6:30 p.m. For now, anyone may come and participate. And now, here's Emily with the weather.
Finishing up the week with Friday, we've got a high of 89 degrees going down to 68 degrees. There's a slight breeze and we'll have partial cloud coverage throughout the day. We also have a bit of rain coming to us starting around 2 p.m. It's on the steadier side, but it should only last a few hours max. Sunday's high goes up to 88 degrees and down to 67. We have a slight breeze again with partial cloud coverage throughout the day that will clear out at nighttime. On Sunday, we've got full sun with a clear blue sky. It's going to be a hot one, 94 degrees going down to 66 and a slight breeze for the day. Taking a look into next week, we have similar temps to the weekend with our warmest day of the work week on Monday. The temperature goes up to 91 degrees and we've got partial cloud coverage throughout the day. 88 degrees on Tuesday when our rain starts up again in the early afternoon. That rain continues until early the next morning on Wednesday when we go up to 82 degrees. The lows from Monday to Wednesday are stretched across the 60s. Similar high temps on Thursday when we reach 81 degrees and on Friday we go up to 86. Both Thursday and Friday give us that sun back. For Thursday and Friday, our low temps dip down to the high 50s, but overall, it's going to be another toasty week. In a brief hurricane update, named Tropical Storm Erin is currently moving west at 17 miles per hour. And although the storm is predicted to reach a Category 3 status at this time, it is unclear what the path of the storm will look like this far out, and it could just as easily move up northwards to the New England area. No doubt the waves at the beach will be a bit larger, but we're simply too far out at this time to tell if the hurricane will make landfall near us or even at all. In addition to Tropical Storm Erin, we also have an unnamed tropical disturbance swirling around in the Gulf, but at this time there's only a 20% chance of it turning into a named storm. Rest assured, I'll be keeping an eye on the sky and updating you accordingly. You can also visit weather.gov for more updates and alerts about hurricanes and more. Stay safe and cool out there, Bonita. Back to you.
Thank you, Emily. This weekend, the Melton Center will be having their 15th annual Community Day on Sunday the 17th. The event will last from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and will feature craft and food vendors, performances, music, games, and the Summer Basketball League Championships. The Melton Center's Community Day has been a staple of our community celebrations for years. Serving our community since 1918, the Melton Center serves the underserved in our community through various programs for people of all ages. This festival is a celebration of Westchester and the people and businesses who help our community thrive. The Melton Center is located at 501 East Minor Street, and you can find out more about the event by going to meltoncenter.org. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. Thanks to your continued support, our team has grown and we look forward to bringing you even more coverage. With our friends at Alliance Space, we can take our project to the next level. However, in order to keep this show ad-free, we will need your help. If you appreciate what we do, please consider becoming a supporter on Patreon, liking and sharing us on Facebook, and subscribing on YouTube. It's the easiest way to support us and help us bring you the news. And if you'd like to listen to our show via podcast, you can find us on SoundCloud. Finally, if you have a news tip, an event you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hi, you can reach us via email at westchesterchronicle@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Our program is produced by Crimson Planet Media, recorded at Alliance Space here in downtown Westchester, and our music is by Doug Keller. As always, we want to thank you for your time and we hope to see you soon. Until then, I'm Bonita Times with the Westchester Chronicle.